Hello and welcome to this video. In this video, we are going to create the canvas object. In our previous video, in our HTML file, we added the HTML canvas element to the page using this tag here. So now I'm going to create a new file, which is going to be a JavaScript file. So I'm going to click on the file option and click new. And I'm going to save that file as a clock. I'm going to call it clock.js. And inside this drop down here, I'll just select this JavaScript option and click save. So we now have a JavaScript file and an HTML file. So let's create a canvas object, and we're going to use a variable to do that. So here we created a canvas object from the HTML canvas element. So you can see we're using the document or get element by ID, and the ID is canvas, which is this here from the HTML element. All right, so here we have now created a canvas object. The next thing we're going to do, we are going to create a 2D drawing object. Again, we're going to use a variable. So on line 2 here, we've got a variable called CTX. CTX basically stands for context. So we're setting that to equals to canvas.getContext. And inside we're passing it 2D. So this will create a 2D drawing object for the canvas object. Next thing I want to do is calculate the clock radius using the height of the canvas. So to calculate the clock radius using the height of the canvas, we add a variable called radius and set that to equals to the canvas.height divided by 2. By using the canvas height to calculate the clock radius, it makes the clock work for all canvas sizes. So regardless of the size of your canvas, the clock should work. The next line of code I want to add basically is going to remap the position, which is the X and Y axis. Is going to remap them, so that which is going to be the actual position of the drawing object. So it's going to remap it to the center of the canvas. So we're using the CTX, which is this variable here, dot translate, and we're passing it. We've got the radius, and the radius, basically what this will do, it will remap the position 0 and 0. So 0 will be on the x-axis and 0 on the y-axis. So it remaps it to position the drawing object at the center of the canvas. The next thing I want to do is I want to reduce the clock radius to about 90%. So to draw the clock, so that the clock, when the clock is drawn, it is drawn inside the canvas. The next thing I want to do is create a function that will be used to draw the clock. To save time, I have added the function that will be used to draw the face of the clock. So this is the function here. So to create a function, you type in the keyword function followed by the name you want to call the function. So I've called the function draw clock. When creating functions, it's always good idea to name the function to reflect the work or what the function will do. And inside the curly braces is the actual code that will be responsible for drawing the face of the clock. So here we've got the context.arc. The .arc method basically is used to create an arc or a curve which is used to create circles or parts of the circle. And inside the parentheses for this arc method, we've got different arguments or parameters. So this basically is used to draw the actual arc of the circle and position it. And notice here we've got the radius, and also we've got the math.pi. Basically the math.pi property represents the ratio of the circumference of the circle to the diameter of the circle. So math.pi property represents the ratio of the circumference of a circle to its diameter, which is approximately 3.14159. On line 10 here, we've got a context.fill style, and we're giving it a color of white. Basically, this is the color that will be used to fill the face of the circle that is being drawn by this clock. So the actual face of the clock is going to be white, and we're achieving that using this method called context.fill style. This fill style method is what gives the clock a white face background. You can specify any, but in this case I've just used white. You can also use the context.fill style property to return the color, the gradient, or a pattern you use in filling the drawing. On line 11, we've got the fill method. Basically, this is used to fill the current path of the drawing. So it fills the current drawing path, and the default color is black. When you create a function, for the function to do its job, you have to call it or reference it. So you can see here on line 6, I've added a reference to this clock. So it's going to draw the, I'm calling the function here, it's going to draw this clock, draw the face of the clock here inside this place. This, you can call a function from anywhere, but I'm calling it from here. So when this code, when these lines of code are read and it comes here, it will then draw the clock using this code in between the curly braces. Okay, so next thing I want to do, I've actually done it, but I'm just going to tell you why I created a CSS file here. So basically the file, you create the file the same way. You go to File, New File, and then save it into your relevant directory. So basically it's a basic styling. I'm styling the body. I'm giving the actual body the background color of black. This is black in hex value. And the canvas, I'm positioning the canvas. I want the canvas to be positioned in a certain way. So I want there to be some margin from the left, and I'm giving the value of 300 pixels. And I want there to be a margin from the top. I'm giving it 50 pixels. Basically, I'm saying from the left, move it to 300 pixels, and from the top, move it down 50 pixels. So I'm going to save that, and now we can test the clock. So this is the clock. So you should get something like this. This is the actual face of the clock. So if you can see something like this, then congratulations, we are on the same page. So that's basically it for this lecture. We've got a few more functions to go to get the clock working properly. So thanks for watching. Bye for now.